good at math and science, and in high school we had a really good project lead the way teacher. It's like all about engineering. So he would like take one-on-one time with us and teach us the ropes of engineering, and it was a lot of fun.
I became an engineer because I was good at math and science. I didn't know I wanted to be an engineer when I went to college. It was just kind of naturally flowed with what I was good at in high school.
My dad was an engineer. He was a mechanical engineer, and then I've always just been drawn to science and math, so I chose to do engineering.
Growing up doing construction with my dad is what got me interested in building things, and then as I got older, I enjoyed math, enjoyed puzzles, and figuring out how to do things, and so the two kind of melded together and became engineering.
Working with new people, working with city governments, local entities, and other engineering firms.
The challenge of solving problems with the different clients on the run, on the go, and being quick enough to respond to those solutions.
The thing I love most about being an engineer would be seeing everyone in the community interact with what I've done, knowing that what I'm doing is being put to use on a daily basis.
Well, I love being challenged, and I love being in a field that's constantly changing and kind of working with the times.
There's something to be said about designing something and then seeing it come to life. That's really fulfilling, and I really enjoy that part of it.
I love solving problems. I like being able to look at a problem and figure out, why a home is flooding or why something isn't working the way it should, and being able to fix it, or helping people to build things and grow.
I like the challenges every day that you get, solving problems. That's kind of the quintessential engineering.
One of the most interesting was a bridge project that I worked on many years ago. I was hired by the firm to basically do the inspection for the bridge after it got designed. The design was delayed some, so I got involved in the design. I designed all the superstructure, or I checked all the superstructure design. I laid out all the geometric dimensions, everything else for the whole deck and for the whole bridge.
The One North project in North Kansas City was just a really neat project, and we as RIC did a lot of different jobs there, different developments there. And so it's cool to see a place like that start to thrive.
We did a project right outside of Google's headquarters in Mountain View, California, and we were synchronizing traffic lights throughout their campus and things like that. But what I remember the most from it was early on in their self-driving car program, and they had all the little tiny, they looked like a VW Bug driving around, and they're half the size of a normal car. So we were trying to time all these traffic lights there, and you look over and nobody's touching the steering wheel and they're driving right next to you. So that was something that sticks out in my mind.
It was a brand new high school for the district, and it was on a very difficult site. Had a lot of terrain, had a lot of wetlands, ponds, and to fit this building in with the architect was also challenging, but it was fun.
I really enjoyed building physical models. I liked being dirty all day. And so I think it's why I'm excited for this upcoming construction season, maybe get out on site and watch some of the projects I've worked on get built this first construction season, get my boots dirty and track mud into the office.
Has a huge impact. It is places we can go, stay, live, eat, play. It's pretty much almost everything you interact with.
Well, being on the public side, we get a lot of PIAC projects, stuff like that, where the community has reached out to the government and has, mostly for us, drainage issues, and we come in and try to solve those and help them out.
Just about every person every day touches some piece of civil design, whether it's a roadway or the building they're in, structural. So I think a lot of people probably just don't even realize that, but civil engineers impact everybody's lives multiple times a day.
Well, we design communities, so I would say huge impact. We're usually behind the scenes. Not a lot of people think about what happens when you flush a toilet or turn on your water, but that's essentially what we do. We get you those services and make a community livable.
Civil engineering has an impact on everybody's lives, whether they realize it or not. From the water that comes out of their sinks to the roads that they drive on and everything in between. We play an important role in the infrastructure that they use on a daily basis.
Every project is different, and I think it all starts with civil engineering.
Literally everything. Buildings, roads, airports, utilities. Engineering started out as military engineering and civil engineering, just to differentiate the two. So everything came out of civil engineering.
Specifically in traffic engineering, there's a big change happening right now with self-driving vehicles, a lot of communication infrastructure that's going in as far as how even non-self-driving cars communicate with traffic lights and other vehicles as to identify their location and things like that. So I think there's going to be a huge change, and it's already started happening in the past 5 or 10 years. But as far as how vehicles really interact with the surroundings around them will change considerably, and that'll impact just about everybody.
Technology is going to make designs easier from the perspective of being able to see what you're building and not having to visualize it in your head as much. But it's also going to make designs more economical because there's less uncertainty, and I think that really technology is the big thing that's going to change over the next 10 years.
Autonomous vehicles and figuring out how you make your infrastructure work with those vehicles, and vice versa, how they make vehicles work with the infrastructure.
To not give up, keep pushing through all your challenges, just follow through to the end.
Make sure you pick a field that you enjoy working in.
Stick with it. I think there's challenges with, especially early on, it seems almost daunting, the amount of information you kind of have to digest and things like that. So just stick with it. I think it's rewarding.
Don't give up. College can be really hard, but it's really worth it when you get out. I feel like it's a really rewarding job. I've learned something new every single day. And it's one of those degrees that I think is really easy to just be like, it's too hard, it's too difficult, I'm gonna do something else, but it's really worth it. I really enjoy it.
I would just say study hard and never give up and always keep working.
To work in the industry, if they think they're interested in being a civil engineer, maybe work on a construction site or a mechanical engineer, to work as a machinist.
Have fun with whatever you want to do. If you really love to be innovative and creative, I think this is a great opportunity, and it allows you to think outside the box.
Do as many different things as you can so that you can figure out where you really belong. I worked on power plants, I worked on roads, and I worked on airports, and I found that airports were what I really, really like and what I really want to do.
My main advice to someone striving to be a civil engineer is to stick through it. The biggest thing I saw through college was people hitting a tough spot in school and just they're done, didn't want to do it, switched degrees. But yeah, it's tough, but you'll get through it, and the end goal is super rewarding and well worth the wait.
Don't shy away from taking on new challenges. I think you can learn a lot by pushing your comfort zone a little bit.
It's really neat that we get to celebrate engineers, and being a woman in engineering, we're a minority group in engineering, and I love to see more and more women, especially at RIC. I think it's so cool that we have so many ladies around here.
Engineering Week to me is kind of a celebration for what we do and the impact we have on the community.
It's a celebration week of all the professionals in the industry and kind of a time to celebrate all the hard work.
Just a time to celebrate engineers and what we do and what we do for the community and how we help people out and solve problems and accomplish goals.